Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Marc Farzetta. So much to get into today. Sixers eke out a win against the Toronto Raptors. Doc Rivers angry at the line of questioning. I should say line of questioning. It was a line of questioning from one reporter, Keith Pompey, the Inquirer, friend of the show. I really like Keith. Doc didn't really like his question. Thought it was silly. We'll get to that in a second as, again, the Sixers eke out that victory. John Madden passes away. The great John Madden passes. I have a funny run-in with Coach. And now, when I say coach, I want to be very clear about something here. I think of the term coach. If you're a coach, I think of you as like a doctor. Like, that's your title for totally different reasons. But that's your title. You forever are coach. Now, a lot of coaches that I have heard, they don't really like to be called coach by anyone they have not coached. John Madden embraced being called coach. And I had the absolute privilege to work on the Sunday Night Football crew his last 2 years on the crew. And, doing the color, being the color analyst. And he embraced being coach. Everyone called him coach, and he loved it. He basked in that title. It was great. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about John Madden a little bit later in the show, and remember him for all the things he did for the game of football. And as I tweeted out last night, it's really hard, next to impossible, to find many more people that did everything John Madden did for the sport of football. So I look forward to talking about Coach. We'll also get a little bit into what the Flyers have on tap for us, if anything. So we'll get into that with the NHL kind of having some things going on. Jason Avant will be joining the show today to talk about Jalen Hurts versus Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts versus the field. As in, is Jalen Hurts better than what the Eagles could bring in next year? We both agree. Jason Avant, I'll give you the spoiler. We both agree that this is Jalen Hurts' team to the end of this year, at the very least. And as Nick Sirianni said in the Chris Mortensen report from ESPN, they are committed to Jalen Hurts for the rest of the season. My two takeaways from that little story with Gardner Minshew yesterday were Minshew, when you get traded to the Eagles, that's when you make the statement, what do you got to do to be the starter around here? Not after you beat the Jets. Maybe Nick Sirianni goes, how about this one? You don't even play the Jets, right? That's not even a real football team. Why are you even here? So you distill a little further, and you keep on going with that a little bit here, and then you go to that last line in the story about how they are committed to Jalen Hurts for the rest of the year. It's like, why just the rest of the year? For me, I think Jalen Hurts is better than the field. I think he's better than what he could get in the draft, and I think he's the best case scenario because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is like, man, I just want to get out of Green Bay and go to Philadelphia. And I don't think Russell Wilson is like, I just want to get out of Seattle and go to Philadelphia. I don't think that's the case for either of those two quarterbacks. And the other hot name that's always out there right now is Deshaun Watson. And I know the Eagles want Deshaun Watson. I think any football team that would take Deshaun Watson prior to anything being resolved with his illegal issues is crazy. Bonkers, nutso, crazy. So hopefully the Eagles stay away from that as well. So for me, I think Jalen Hurts is better than the field. We will get our man, Jason Avant from Q&A, inside the Birds Empire, as Jeff Mosher likes to refer to it as. We'll get his take on that situation and what Jalen Hurts can do for the Eagles maybe next year and what he can do to solidify his spot as the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles going into next year. So we'll talk to Jason Avant about that. Let's get into Doc Rivers last night. The 76ers, they're able to hold on and beat the Toronto Raptors 114-109, despite the Raptors missing a number of players. Pascal Siakam had actually come back. Fred VanVleet not playing for the Raptors last night. Like I said, a slew of other players. The Sixers controlled the game for most of the game. They didn't have an amazing, incredible 20-point lead or anything like that. They just controlled the game. They were constantly up. If the Raptors made any kind of run, the Sixers were right there to take care of business and squash that run. Until late in this game. Sixers go up 9 points in the fourth quarter. They look like they have control again. Next thing you know, Toronto hits a couple of threes. They get a big corner three. Next thing you know, it's only a 2-point game. And as this game went on, it started to feel like with maybe about a minute and 30 left, oh, my God, the Raptors are going to steal this game. That's not supposed to happen. And then Joel Embiid gets a three. Tobias Harris goes to the line a couple of times. And the Sixers, they're able to control the game at the very end and win it. So they escape, as some people might say. They hold on. They're just able to get by the Toronto Raptors. So I think at any level of sport, and this includes the pros, because I've heard professional athletes go, yeah, we're happy with the win. That's the bottom line, but we got to play better than that. Like, that's the way they'll handle a game where they just barely win when they should have won by more. Now, the only people that care about whether or not you've won by more really are the bettors. And I'll tell you about my bet a little bit later in the show. And I hit on my bet. But the only people that care about how much you win by are the people betting the game or how much you lose by. So last night, Keith Pompey of the Inquirer asked Doc Rivers that type of question. It's a long answer. It's about 2:30, so just bear with me here. But Doc Rivers did not like the line of questioning when it came to Keith Pompey and when he was asking Doc about his thoughts on this win.
Great. I don't get the question.
I just, your observation. The question is, what do you think about the win?
We won on the road, Keith. I will take any win on the road, anytime, anyway. You don't get to just script the game and say, okay, guys, tonight, let's win by 30. That just doesn't happen. Not in this game. Not in this game. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, not in this game. You just win the game, you take it, and you keep moving on. It's a regular season. You're just trying to win games and see how well you can win them. We missed a lot of easy shots down the stretch. They got every loose ball, but we still won the game. And that says a lot about your team.
Okay, so with that being said, I guess you're not concerned at all at having these close games against these undermanned teams?
No. I think, it's funny. When we were undermanned and we won a couple of games and we had close games that we lost, I didn't hear that in reverse. This is the NBA, Keith. Think about that stretch when we had all those guys out and we lost 4 and 5 games by 1 point, 3 points. Do you think their coach was worried that they won by 1 or 3 points? These guys play hard, man. This is the NBA. Every single guy in this league can play. So I don't sit back and judge we didn't win by 10 tonight or 12 tonight. We won the game. And that locker room in there, they're happy. They're not sitting back thinking, man, we should have won by 20. No, you shouldn't have. You should have won by exactly what you won by.
Can I ask a follow-up? It seems like you're getting kind of emotional.
No, not at all. I'm just miffed by the question. That's a question that's always it tells me clearly you didn't play enough to you got to understand that. If you win a game, Keith, you're happy. Because my point is, I didn't hear you asking about when we were losing those close games. What do you think about? Are you happy about the loss because you were close with an undermanned team? No, it's not the same thing. My point is, Keith, it's a dumbass question to me.
I don't care.
We didn't win the game. Exactly. And so what I'm saying now is I don't care. We won the game.
Well, but don't say
I just think it's a silly question. I really do. We won a game and you're trying to take steam away from it? I think that's silly. I do. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think that's a silly question.
So that was your head coach, Doc Rivers, answering a dumbass question, as he put it after the game. Keith kind of poked the bear for a second there. Now, I have no problem with him asking a coach what he thinks about a tough win. That's fine. I think Doc kind of understood where he was going with it before he actually got there about the undermanned team part. I think Doc was making him say it. But no. Say what you really think. I feel like Doc was I think both parties were egging on each other a little bit. Keith's first question about, I want to get your thoughts on the win. Typical. But I think Doc knew where he was going from Jump Street. And then when he asked and he said the words undermanned, that's where Doc was like, everybody in the NBA can play, Keith. Everybody in the NBA can play this game, and they're a very good basketball player. The last guy on the last roster spot in the NBA can still outball anybody on the planet, basically, is what Doc's argument would be in this case. So when Keith is asking the question, he gets the underman part. That's what I think set Doc Rivers off a little bit. Then the poking of the bear comes when Keith Pompey says, you seem to be getting a little emotional about this. Oh, it was just a matter of time before Doc Rivers went with I think it's a dumbass question, to be honest with you. I think it's a silly question. I think any athlete, though, and I'll say this, I think any athlete can look at a game and know when they have escaped with the win, know when they have held on to the win, know when they have avoided a loss more than, yeah, we won that game. Yeah. Like, I think any athlete can look back at it and go, okay, hey, we won, bottom line, but we got lucky in this regard. They were actually up 11 points with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter against an undermanned, use that word again, Toronto Raptors team, and they still were able to, the Raptors were still able to come back and actually take a 1-point lead with about 1:30 left in the game. That's a little scary. That's a little scary. You don't want to see that happen. And although I'm sure they are happy they won the game, I would say a lot of athletes would feel more relieved that they would win that game than they do feeling like they really, really accomplished something. And I'm sure they're happy, but I'm also sure they had a sense of relief. Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris coming up huge. I mean, Joel Embiid was just incredible last night. I mean, Tobias Harris had a triple-double. Hit some big free throws for the Sixers last night. Joel Embiid all over the court. The big run for the Raptors came when it started when Joel Embiid was out early in the fourth quarter, then came in, and then the Raptors just kept going. Like their momentum was already established at that point. But fortunately, with Joel Embiid being in the game, the Sixers had a way to respond. And then the unsung hero, and by the way, the very next question. So Doc Rivers goes through that, 2-minute and 52-second back and forth and answer with Keith Pompey. And Doc Rivers, the very next question was, hey, how about George Niang? George Niang played a great game. And George Niang had, I think, 19 points last night for the Sixers. He had himself a night coming off the bench. He was great. So I'm just amazed that the Sixers were able to pull that game out, especially with the way that the Toronto Raptors were able to end it. But I think Joel Embiid has been honest with us in the past when he has just flat out said, and I feel like he said this even last year in the playoffs, we were lucky. I think every athlete knows when they get lucky. And I think last night was a situation where the Sixers weren't necessarily lucky, but they were more relieved to have won that game than they were to go back and start celebrating that they just beat the Raptors. Yes, it was a road game. Joel Embiid, 36 points in total, 11 rebounds, 4 assists as well. And then Tobias Harris came up with that triple-double. 13 of his 19 points came at the foul line, and he was just 3 for 12 from the floor. So not Tobias' best night shooting, but he made up for it with the free throws. So we have that to look at. Sixers, by the way, will next take on the Brooklyn Nets coming up tomorrow, I believe that is. So we'll see the Sixers right back in action against the Brooklyn Nets. So hopefully that'll be a more comfortable win. I doubt it, but we'll see how that plays out for the Sixers. I gotta honor a man before we get to Jason Avant. By the way, we recorded with Jason Avant before the Madden news broke. I like many of you grew up listening to John Madden. John Madden was football. Like if John Madden was calling your game, man, that was a game. Like that was a big game. Pat Summerall, John Madden on the original Madden video games. That was the video game to get, and it still is for a lot of people. It still is. Ooh, who's on the Madden cover? Like it's still a huge thing. Just as somebody who loves history, John Madden was actually drafted by the Eagles, and I feel like everyone knows that now. I feel like that's been all over the place now. But one of the things that it didn't dawn on me until I saw it so many times late yesterday, John Madden could have been on the 1960 championship Eagles team. Like that's insane. Like think about that for a second. Drafted in 1955. He does not play for the Eagles. He only plays for them during training camp, suffers a knee injury, never had an NFL career after that. But if he would have played just 5 years in the NFL, he would have been a part of the Eagles' 1960 championship. Like Chuck Bednarik and John Madden running around out there. Tommy McDonald running around out there. John Madden out there. Like, that's amazing. And he doesn't play. He goes on to have a successful coaching career, wins the Super Bowl with the Raiders. We all know that story. Becomes an incredible broadcaster. They start the video game, and he just continues to be an incredible ambassador to the sport of football and to the NFL. If you had the Madden video game, you probably laughed your ass off at some of the things that John Madden would say, even in that video game. Like I can remember even going back to Sega Genesis and hear boom, that whole thing. I can remember him with he's like a bull in a china closet. And I remember my brother and I thinking, what the hell does that even mean? Like playing that video game. And that was one of the constant generic drops that he would have in that video game. That hole's so big you could drive a truck through it. Stuff like that just stuck in my brain forever. And they're still on repeat if I'm watching a game and I see a running back run through a hole that's just, oh, look at the offensive line open up that hole. And I think, boom, John Madden. But they're right there, boom. I think John Madden, that hole's so big you could drive a truck through it. But one of my biggest things with John Madden was I got into football before I got into the history of football. So, I knew the more modern things of the NFL as a kid growing up than I did anything about like Vince Lombardi, for instance. So I remember watching a game. I want to say it was the 49ers and Dallas Cowboys. And I remember watching a game, and it was in San Francisco. And I remember they got a shot, Pat Summerall and John Madden, of all these seals. All these like seals were on this rock in San Francisco in the Bay. And John Madden gets his telestrator out and starts going, all right, here's what you got. You got the seal here and a seal here and a seal here and a seal here. And he's like telestrating the seals. And I'm laughing my ass off as like a 11, 12-year-old kid, however old I was at the time, thinking it was just hilarious that the football commentator is counting seals on a rock. He's like, got a seal here, and a seal here, and the whole thing. And then, I don't know, a couple of years later, when I start getting into the history of football and start watching old films on like Vince Lombardi and stuff like that, I then make the connection to what the reference John Madden was making. He was referencing what Vince Lombardi had done with the power sweep. Oh, you got a seal here, you got a seal here, and a seal here, and then you run it up here. And then it was like, I didn't know the reference Madden was making, but he was still funny. He was still enjoyable. And that takes a very special type of broadcaster to be able to do that. Like, I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. I didn't get the joke. I thought he was making the joke, and it was still funny. And that's what he was able to do. He was able to break down the game of football, X's and O's, better than anybody. And he was able to entertain the person sitting next to you that might not have been a football fan. Generally speaking, you call that mass appeal. But I have to think about the husbands into football that the wives were not, or the wives into football and the husbands were not. And they're sitting there watching a game together. One's forced to be in the room, and the other is still enjoying it. The non-football fan is still enjoying it because John Madden just had that ability. I have missed him in the booth since he hasn't been in the booth. I am honored to say that I worked John Madden's last game in the NFL, working for Sunday Night Football. And he is still missed in the booth because he was that great. Nobody will be better than John Madden. John Madden is the bar to which everybody else, every other color analyst in football, if not all of sport, is measured against. With the ability to explain football to you, with the ability to break down a play, and then the ability to tell you how to devour and make a turducken. Like, there is nobody that will really, really get to that bar ever again. He is the standard. And to think he could have been in the 1960 championship Eagles team is just wild to me. He would Ring of Honor, John Madden, right? Now, I think he was a 20th round pick back in the day. So hopefully he would have had a long career. But a couple of personal things. I told you already that around the Sunday Night Crew, he was always referred to as Coach. When I had started on the crew, my first game, I want to say, was the game that Jason Witten lost his helmet at Lincoln Financial Field. And it was wild things took place for me to be in the position that I was. But long story short, I worked on the crew as like a production assistant who was like the guy to get coffee and stuff like that. And they had asked me if I could do this one job for this one particular night because somebody was already, I think, in China for the Olympics. And I was like, yeah, sure. I had no idea what the job entailed. It basically entailed logging the game. So anyway, they said, also, you're going to be the horse trailer guy. I said, what the hell? What? Huh? And they said, you're going to be the horse trailer guy. John Madden had this idea to bring a horse trailer around to the different games, and the player of the game's face would go on the horse trailer. So yours truly became Madden's horse trailer guy that would, right at the end of the game, run out to the horse trailer. I would flip through like 150 pictures of like every player in that game, including the inactive players, including practice squad players and all that. And I'd flip through it, and John Madden would be like, oh, I think, Michael Vick's the player of the game. Flip through, find Michael Vick, tape him up, put him on the side of the horse trailer, and then run out of the shot. That was my job. So that was my connection to John Madden for 2 seasons. Now, Super Bowl Steelers Cardinals. I forget what number that was, but it was the year 2009 following the 2008 season. The Eagles were supposed to be in this Super Bowl, but instead they lost to the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game. It's in Tampa, and we go through the season. The game ends. Santonio Holmes, corner of the end zone, touchdown for the game winner. Roddy Harrison had the pick 6 return before half. Incredible. Like all that stuff. And I go to the catering tent after the game. And John Madden walks into the catering tent, or walks out of the catering tent as I'm walking in. I almost get knocked over by John Madden. And I'm like, oh, now's as good a time as any. I can introduce myself to John Madden and be like, I'm your horse trailer guy, thinking it's a real connection, right? And John Madden, coach, I go, hey, coach. Everyone calls him coach again. I said, hey, coach, I'm Marc Farzetta. I've been your horse trailer guy all season. And John Madden doesn't break stride and goes, and then just keeps walking. And I will never forget the tone of that grunt that I got from the great John Madden. And it's almost better to me that he did that as opposed to, hey, Mark, how are you? Nice to see you. You know, that whole thing. Apparently he's from Northeast Philly or something. I have a Doco John Madden impression. And I'd rather have that moment with John Madden than anything that he was like, hey, where are you from? Oh, that's nice. I was drafted by the Eagles. You know, something like. But to have that type of moment with him is even better. But regardless of that, the way he was with other people on the crew, the way the producer, Fred Godelli, the director, Drew Esikoff, the way people talked about John Madden was like he was the absolute best type of guy you could have on a show. And I remember gawking at the Madden Cruiser for the first time, thinking, wow, it's John Madden, won't fly. That's amazing. He's got this Outback Steakhouse Madden Cruiser. Who doesn't want to go around in that thing? But the bottom line is, from everyone that worked with him, the best. From everyone that watched him, they acknowledged the best. And I remember towards the end of his career, people were like, he needs to retire. He needs to go, move on, whatever. I could never get enough John Madden. Could never get enough of John Madden. So he is and will be missed. And I'm very much looking forward to getting a chance to watch the All Madden documentary that's out there. I hear nothing but amazing things about it. So to the great John Madden, thank you for all the amazing, amazing memories. To his family, our condolences are obviously with you. And there is really difficult to find someone that will ever do more for the game of football than what John Madden did. Without further ado, let's talk about our football team, and we'll do that a little bit more with Jason Avant coming up in just a second. But let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. New Year's just around the corner now. Looking to get engaged? Looking to end the year right? Been with a lady? Been with a man for a long time? Now it's time to pop the question. Steven Singer is ready for you, ladies and gentlemen. Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every single time. And how about this? Ready for love. Diamond engagement rings are at the ready. So it's not just a clever name. You walk into the other corner of 8th and Walnut, you are good to go. They open it up right there in front of you. You can look through them. Beautiful diamond engagement rings ready to go. So do what I do. With all your big jewelry purchases, trust the one man in Philadelphia that has earned the trust of Philadelphia for over 40 years. 40 years in the love business. This man knows love. And you don't have to worry about negotiating. You don't have to worry about haggling. You don't have to worry about if the guy next to you is paying more or less than you. You know you're getting the perfect price every single time. That's why everyone says, I hate Steven Singer, because he makes it so easy to buy a diamond. So go to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price every day at Steven Singer Jewelers. Without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line and talk to our good friend Jason Avant of Inside the Birds podcast, Q&A with Quentin Michael and Jason Avant. Jason Avant. What's going on there, Jason?
What's up, Farzy? I'm doing good, brother. Good to see you. Looking good. Love the bald head as usual.
I mean, I got to say, when I first shaved my head, I did think of the great Jason Avant, and I'm not kidding you. I don't know if I ever told you this. You referred to it once as a sunroof. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. Oh, you know what? I'll shave my head. I'll stop fighting the good fight. I'm going to be bald eventually anyway. Let's go. A sunroof it is.
And,
so
you have the head for a bald head, so that's always good.
Thank you. Thank you. Every young high school
blockhead doesn't work for bald.
No, every like high school senior to college freshman that's just noticing going bald, I have the head they dream of because they're all terrified. Exactly. That's why they're fighting the good fight. Anyway, and you do too, you handsome fella. Man, Christmas was good with the kids and all that stuff?
Yeah, they got what they want. My kids are spoiled, so you know.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid it. It
is. I'm just hoping I keep them some fight in there, some desire to want something besides what dad has.
Do you and Quentin, for obviously Quentin Michael, you're partnered with Q&A. Do you guys get each other like podcast partner gifts? Do you guys do anything like that?
No, we haven't done that yet. Not yet. Maybe one of these days.
Yeah, adorable. Absolutely adorable. Jason, it's great to catch up with you again, man. Seriously, the latest episode of Q&A will be dropped tomorrow, Thursday, for the good people of Philadelphia. I'm sure you guys are going to be covering everything Philadelphia Eagles as per usual. The first thing I want to start with here is I have this, I don't like to say I'm afraid, but I'm just trying to be cognizant of. Washington just got the brakes beat off them by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Eagles are now going to be traveling to Washington to take on the Washington football team. Eagles right now in the playoffs. How do they not look past this opponent? How do they take this opponent seriously? How do they not overlook the Washington football team? How do they play them the way they should be played?
I don't think it should be that hard for the Birds. You got to remember something. We're in a driver's seat as far as the positioning to make the playoffs, but you understand how other teams view the Eagles as well. They don't look at the Eagles as the world beaters, as the Buccaneers or the Chiefs or another Packers, right? They're looking at the Eagles and saying they're a beatable team. And so the Eagles have to come with a humble approach because we played some really bad games against some bad teams this year. 4 or 5 weeks ago at MetLife Stadium, Giants, played a really bad game. So it can happen again. So, and that's the message that Sirianni has to teach or preach to them this week is that, hey, we have to be on our A game in order to, continue to ride this wave to go to the playoffs and be prepared. And I think that's the way to it. And then point to that first Giants game to say, hey, we didn't come in there prepared. It was the first time people were beginning to talk about playoffs and us, on a win streak or what have you. And the Giants beat us, and we just beat the Giants by 30 points the other day, type of thing. That's what you have to do. You have to prepare your team that way.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that sounds good to me, and hopefully that's what the Eagles will do coming up here. Just a general question here. You mentioned Nick Sirianni getting his team ready and all that. I mean, really from the start of the season where they're 2-5, and a lot of people have made a lot of that, and rightfully so, but also how they've ended the season now to this point, 6-2 in their last 8 games. What have you made of the job of Nick Sirianni in his first year as an NFL head coach?
I've been impressed with his ability to adapt. I have been earlier in the season, and I think a lot of times because of his personality type and his whimsy, I don't know.
I like that. No,
but just his personality type, it can kind of throw you off because you're thinking like, oh, this guy is out of touch with reality and how Philadelphia is as a whole and what the city stands for. But when you consider everything that he's been thrown, he's been able to adapt. He tried to start off the season with adjusting the offense according to what Jalen Hurts did at Oklahoma. That didn't work. He said, okay, let me change this up. Let's go into center a few games that begin to work a little bit. Or let me totally incorporate Jalen Hurts into the run game and submerge ourselves into what he's good at. And they basically had to burn the boats, the same thing as Baltimore did, and make it a run-first offense in order to be successful. So there was a lot of adapting, a lot of changing. And on his side of the ball, there was a lot of changing. And Jonathan Gannon as well. Jonathan Gannon, very stagnant, very passive, all zone, not much man. For the last 8 weeks, the Eagles defense has soared into that top 10 defense because the ability to get up in people's face on third down, still play a lot of zone, but with Rodney coming back, with TJ Edwards inserted into the lineup, along with Avonte Maddox playing well, Steven Nelson picking up his game, all of these guys picking up their game, he was able to turn it around well. So you're just happy. Now, the thing that you got to think of is, okay, is it the coaching doing a better job, or is it that our schedule just got better?
Mm-hmm.
It got easier.
Yeah, no,
we don't know.
Yeah,
we'll know when we play the Cowboys, and we'll know, if we make playoffs.
Absolutely. As a head coach, you're faced with a lot of, turmoil. You have to make adjustments, and you just highlighted that, but you also have to deal with a lot of personalities. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the story that was out there with Chris Mortensen of ESPN saying on ESPN that Gardner Minshew, apparently after beating the Jets, went into Nick Sirianni's office and said, what do I got to do to be the starter? And Nick Sirianni said, not going to happen. We're committed to Jalen Hurts for at least the rest of the year. Did you see that story? If so, how'd you react to it?
That's about right. Like, it's how can I will always side with the person that's most qualified for the position, who's earned it, should keep it. That's the way that I am. That person continues to play. I know that this has been a big experiment for the organization for the year. And I think that if you give up on Jalen Hurts, it kind of abandons the entire point of what you were trying to do, because they started off trying to see if Jalen Hurts was, Russell Wilson.
Right.
And they say, oh, that didn't work. Maybe he's Lamar Jackson. Nah, he's closer to Lamar Jackson than he is Russell Wilson. So let's change it up and do that. But you're trying to give him the entire season to try to evaluate. Personally, did I think that they were going to go to Gardner Minshew? I did. The reason I thought they were going to go to Gardner Minshew is because, for me, I thought that Jalen Hurts wanted to play that Wednesday before he was told that he wouldn't play. And those types of things get kind of leery, because if Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes is slightly hindered with a mild injury and they want to play, there's no way in hell that they're stopping him from playing. So those types of things it made me kind of iffy in seeing where they were going. Maybe they wanted to inject Gardner Minshew in there to see what he had for that game, or to inspire Jalen Hurts to play better. You never know.
Okay, but for your call, you would have went with Jalen Hurts for the rest of the year regardless?
Yes, because of the way that they started this season, and the way that it's been an evaluation Jalen Hurts season. That's what it's been like. For them, a 4 or 5 game period to totally take the run game away from Jalen Hurts, knowing that it's one of his strengths, and everyone in the city of Philadelphia knows that our team would be better running the ball. They literally abandoned the run game for a 4 or 5 game stretch just to see if Jalen Hurts can throw the ball on the level of an upper echelon quarterback. And they said, okay, he's not that. Let's adjust and adapt, and let's see if we can win with him. That's been an experiment this whole year, and you don't just abandon that in the middle.
Has Jalen Hurts done enough for you? Now, obviously, he's done enough to get the starter's role for this year and, till the year is over. Has he done enough to get next year as well, to beat whatever this draft class is going to propose, whatever this free agency class or trade market might propose? Has he done enough to be the starter again next year?
I won't put myself in the equation based on what I'm looking at from the Eagles, and based on what I'm seeing that's happening. I don't think that Jalen Hurts at this point is going to stop the Eagles from pursuing a quarterback this offseason, whether that be free agency, whether that be in the draft. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts can't be, a starter in his league somewhere, but his body of work and the things that's been accomplished throwing the football, which at some point you're going to have to in order to win football games, he has to do that at a higher level consistently. Now, I will say the last game that was played against the Redskins.
Okay, all right.
And later in the second half of this past game, he was pretty accurate. One of his better games, against the Redskins. So when you're gonna break down these things, like he's getting better, and you just hope that he continues to ascend. Hopefully he continues to do better. And if he makes a playoff run, that could be washed away. But he has to show a lot of things in order to get there. Even some of his big plays this past game, DeVonta Smith, right sideline, double clutches. DeVonta Smith has to come back to a ball, make a play when he's beating a guy by 3 yards. If that ball is thrown out and on time, it's a touchdown. Quez Watkins has a deep over. He floats the ball in the air like a balloon and leads him up the field. Quez Watkins makes the play, but if he throws the ball in a position and drives it down the field because he has confidence in his arm, that may be a touchdown as well. Like little things like that. Goddard over the top, last week on when he grabbed the ball for guy's helmet. He stared him down the entire time. The safety was just a bad athlete and couldn't make the play, but most safeties in the NFL would have intercepted that ball. Like, so there's times that he does a lot of good things, like because the Redskins game, his ball placement was impeccable. Like he had great ball placement that entire game. I must say that. He had great ball placement the entire game, but there was a few ones, especially when it's ones down the field, passes down the field, has to do a lot better job. And those are the things that are being evaluated. Not just completions, not just wins and losses, but how well he's thrown the ball throughout the entire season. And if it comes down to just throwing the ball, it won't be enough to stop them from giving him some competition and or somebody that's going to replace him.
In the NFL, just with your evaluation, what do you think his ceiling is? He can be a starter in the NFL, maybe just not here. He can mature into that. He can improve into that. What's the ceiling for Jalen Hurts?
I always say that he can be a starter and he can be effective. Remember, we're not questioning the player. We're not questioning the leader. We're not questioning his ability to do these things. I'm questioning the amount of time that he has to get these things accomplished.
Gotcha.
Because it's the National Football League, and there's people whose jobs are on the line if these guys don't perform at a high level. So he has to get it done as quickly as possible. And because of his background, being a running quarterback at Alabama, being changed around to a quarterback, effective, dual threat, run pass option type of quarterback at Oklahoma, and learning the game the way that he did, he's starting from ground zero in the NFL. And usually guys like him don't learn this for 3-4 years. And we're asking him to do all of this in 1 season, 1.5 seasons. So I'm saying that he can be, but will he have enough time? And I don't think that he'll have enough time unless they make a deep playoff run.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Jalen Hurts, go win the Super Bowl. Please do that.
It may not be the Super Bowl. It may be, beating the Cowboys week 17.
Sure.
Winning the first round of the playoffs and playing well in the second round.
Week 18 now, because you got 18 weeks now, man. How crazy is that? Woof.
Yeah, Woof. So week 18. Yeah, so yeah. So but it's going to take him coupling together some performances in the clutch that's going to win over the city and win over the front office.
You mentioned him already. The guy, obviously is playing your position there. That DeVonta Smith guy.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I hope the Eagles can air it out a little bit more and a little bit more regularly just to see him in action more, because I am so impressed with the way this guy is playing football in his rookie season.
Yeah, he's learning, he's growing, he's adapting. I think the last 3 weeks or so, they've done a better job of utilizing him and putting him in situations that he's not isolated, just one-on-one on the outside it's a higher chance for him to get banged around. They're starting to put him in the slot a lot. They're moving his position. He's been on the line of scrimmage in the 3-point stance, been in the backfield, different places, right, different spots. And that comes with his growth as, a younger player in the National Football League, learning our formations and things like that. So I'm happy to see them utilizing him in a better way to get him open, because he's going to need that at times because of his size. But he's a football player. He runs great routes. He's competitive, and he wants the football. At the end of that first Giants game, he's mad because he didn't get the football. And that's what you want. It may look like it's selfish at times. It may look like, but no, the guys that feel like they can affect the game want the ball. And in the big moments, you want that. And that's the only thing that you can ask for him. But he's going to, break Deshaun Jackson's record, the most yards. And he's continuing to get better. So if he can stay slippery and figure out how to continue to get open outside in one-on-one situations, which is, has been his weakness against those bigger guys right now. Once he figures that out, which is only his first year, sometimes take guys a couple years to that. If he can figure that out, he's unstoppable.
I know that it wouldn't have helped your case necessarily, but what would Andy Reid's team with Brian Westbrook have been like if they were a little bit more of that run-first type of offense like Nick Sirianni has put in front of us over the last couple months of the season?
Yeah, I think that Coach Reid would have definitely won more football games that way. But again, hindsight is always 20/20, and you gotta understand, like, our offensive linemen were good, but these guys that they have are like the combination of athleticism and strength with this entire group is astounding. And we have one of the better offensive lines in football, and you can't take that away from this group. It's not just the running back. It's not just Jalen Hurts. It's the ability to get Dickerson and Mailata up to the second level, and you're talking about 700 pounds of punch, and a very athletic center. And in Lane, they do such a great job. And it's not just that they're strong; they're synchronized. They're on time. It's not just about moving a guy back. It's about when the block is taking place, right? How can I get up to the second level, and when I'm getting up there? Is it in union when the running back is making his cut? Those types of things. They're doing a great job of it.
What do you and Quentin Michael have coming up on the latest Q&A, which will come out Thursday, tomorrow at the time we air this? What do you guys got going on?
It's always the hottest topic. Jalen Hurts is always the hottest topic. Come on, it's always the hottest topic because Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback, going forward. We're going to talk about the defensive performance, pretty much everybody on defense. We usually talk about the receivers and what we can get out of that second and third guy. Offensive line play. We cover the entire thing, as well as play calling from both sides of the ball, and how we can, what the future looks like. The teams that are doing well, the chances if the Eagles fall here, who they can play, those types of things.
Plenty more analysis, just like you heard him break down Jalen Hurts. And also, I won't ask you this question. I'll leave some meat on the bone for your podcast, obviously, with Quentin Michael, Q&A, as part of Inside the Birds Network. I'll let you guys talk about on that show whether or not you think the Eagles in these next 2 weeks will lock up a playoff spot. Jason Avant, always great catching up with you, man. And if I just feel like jumping around on a trampoline, where can I do that?
Come on, do it over at Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. We play dodgeball. We have rock wall, laser tag, trampolines, Ninja Warrior. We do it all. I'll hit your kid in the face with a dodgeball and find it at the same time. Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey.
Your kid's crying, but it was Jason Avant. That's awesome. No, Jason, I can't thank you enough, man. Once again, a belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, and make sure you guys check out Quentin Michael and Jason Avant Q&A as part of the Inside the Birds podcast empire. Jason, thanks, brother.
Thanks, Farzy. Take it easy. Jason
Avant joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. My thanks to Jason Avant for joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I'm laughing because I just got a text from Josh of Buzz Sports Entertainment saying I should do a Farzy in the field from Jason Avant's launch. That'd be pretty funny. Kids edition. On the trampoline, going up and down. Hey, what do you think about the Eagles? Would you give Jalen Hurts a starter's job after this year? Bah. That's the takeaway from that conversation with Jason Avant. I didn't think Jason was going to say that. I thought that he was going to say, yeah, at least next year. He's better than what the Eagles would probably get in a trade or the draft. But he did, I don't want to say he couched it, but he did say he's not going to stop their pursuit. Whether or not they actually get somebody in that pursuit is interesting. Here's the thing. Eagles have 3 first-round picks. They got a lot of money. Let's say that. They got a lot of capital. They got a lot of assets to get whatever they want, whether that's a quarterback in this draft, whether that's moving up in the draft, whether that's trading those picks to move up in the draft, whether that is trading those picks to bring in an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or whoever it might be. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'd be bonkers to do that after this year. I am hoping and thinking it's most likely that the Eagles will have maybe 2 first-round picks in this draft. I think they're going to trade one of them to try to move up and get another player that they really, really want. That's what I think they're going to end up doing. They're not going to take 3 players in the first round. I don't think that's going to happen for a multitude of reasons. One, I think they're going to have their heart set on one particular player that they're going to go after, and they're going to do that. They're going to go get that guy. The other is the financial ramifications of first-round picks and the money that's attached to them. So that's another reason why I don't think they're going to take 3, or can almost guarantee you they're not going to take 3 first-rounders. But Jason Avant says that Jalen Hurts has not done enough this year to warrant being the starting quarterback, as of this point, next year. For me, he has. Now, I don't necessarily think it's crazy to think that the Eagles are looking at it the way Jason Avant is, which is, what has he done to make me think I don't need anybody else? Well, I think he's going to take this team to the playoffs. I think he has helped this team tremendously with this turnaround. I think even getting Pro Bowl consideration as a first-year starting quarterback in the NFL is pretty special. And I think especially playing at the level that he did in the second half of the season at least warrants that. He wins a playoff game. He has a long playoff run, like Jason Avant said. Oh, yeah, then he'll lock up the starting job for at least next year. But you can't, I mean, we can only predict what could happen in the future, and you certainly can't change in the past, anything in the past. But what would have happened this season, what could have happened this season that would have changed either Jason Avant or the Eagles' minds about Jalen Hurts and how valuable he is to this franchise? Could he have, should he have beaten the Chiefs? Should he have beaten the Buccaneers? Should he even beat San Francisco earlier in the season? What are the wins that could have happened for the Eagles to look at him and go, nope, this is the guy? And I think in the early goings of the season, Jalen Hurts would have had to beaten the Chiefs, beaten the Buccaneers, beaten even the 49ers to get off to a 2-1 start, beaten the Dallas Cowboys, not get the brakes beat off them by the Dallas Cowboys. And as Jason even pointed out, when you look at the maturation process of Nick Sirianni's offense, you look at the adjustments of Nick Sirianni's offense, you have seen a night and day offense from the first 3 weeks of the season to now. Let's not forget, in week 3, they faced the Dallas Cowboys. They hand the ball to a running back twice. You really didn't see them start to really run the football until they went on to take on the Raiders, until they went on to take on the Detroit Lions on the road. As they say, a running game travels. And once the Eagles started running the football, you started to see them be a better football team. The question at the time and the question right now, though, is that good for Jalen Hurts and his future as a quarterback in the NFL? For your team to say, all right, less of you is better for the offense. That's what running the ball is. Now, well, he was a big part of running the ball. But as we all know, you got to be careful about running quarterbacks. They tend to get hurt. Rarely do they get hurt, believe it or not, on the run. They usually get hurt in the pocket, as funny as that is. But that's the case. That's what's proven true in the NFL. You don't want him taking the big hit. He doesn't take the big hit. You want him throwing the football. That's generally how you win in the league right now. But the Eagles are a different breed. They're having a lot of success with running the football. Why change anything? And as my answer has been all season long, when people ask, is that a good thing that they're saying less of you is better? It's not necessarily less. It's more of a different version of you. Most quarterbacks are obviously airing the football out. Jalen Hurts is running the football. He throws the football well in periods for a half, and then you see it go away. Even people ripped him for playing so well in the first half against the Denver Broncos. And then the Eagles didn't do anything in the second half because they took their foot off the gas. And that happens. But I can take that type of play. I can take this style of play from both the quarterback individually and the offense being a run-first offense when you have a young, developing quarterback who has already worked himself into the Pro Bowl conversation and is already putting himself in a spot to lead this team to the playoffs. I'll take that as year one of Jalen Hurts as the starter. That makes me feel a lot better about what his future can bring to the Philadelphia Eagles. But I just have this feeling. I have this feeling that the Eagles are like, here's a weird analogy. You ever go to a dance, fellas? You ever go to a dance with a girl that went to like an all-girls school? And you're like, she's a friend of yours. You'll go. Maybe you're dating her. Maybe it's casual. I don't know. And yeah, I'll go with you to your dance. And then she takes you to the all-girls school, and then all these girls walking around. You're like, holy pots and pans. Look at these ladies. This is amazing. I feel like Jalen Hurts is the friend you're going to that dance with. And the Eagles are like, yeah, I'll go with you. I mean, we know each other. We have you already, so yeah, sure, why not? And you go to the dance, and Howie Rose was looking around like, I want to dance with that girl. I want to dance with that girl. I want to dance with that girl. Do that twist. Anyway, like that's what I think the Eagles are doing right now with Jalen Hurts. It's nice to have him. You're happy, but could you be happier? Play in the field a little bit? That's what it looks like. That's where I think the Eagles are right now. That's why I don't necessarily disagree with what Jason Avant is telling us. And that's more of what he's thinking the Eagles are going to do going forward, that they're not going to stop a pursuit in the offseason of a different quarterback. Jalen Hurts have to basically go and win themselves a Super Bowl or at least get to a conference championship. Hey, I'm here for it. Let it happen. As I said, I'm rooting for this guy, man. I am rooting for Jalen Hurts. Let me tell you about the great people of Rothman Orthopaedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. How about the people of BetQL? Take advantage of your sportsbook with BetQL, the only app that you'll need to make the smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans everything. Over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning why you should place that bet. Here's what I did. I told you I'm trying to get in on the alternate point spreads like I did with the Eagles against the Giants, and I hit 14.5. Last time I was trying to get into the parlays. Trying to get into more parlays. I'm not really a parlay guy, but I'm getting into it more and more. I am a new gambler. For the people for the gambling was legal, I jumped on it. I'm a new gambler. So I'm not someone who's been doing this a long time. So I'm trying some different things. But bottom line, I did a parlay last night. Joel Embiid, 25.5 points over. I did a parlay with Pascal Siakam, 16.5 over. And then I hit the parlay. I also had the parlay, 4-leg parlay. I had Seth Curry hits a 3. Joel Embiid hits a 3. I thought I even played it safe. I hit, baby. All of it happened. Pascal Siakam had like 14 points at halftime. Like, he was fine. Seth Curry hit a 3 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ha ha! Joel Embiid ended up hitting 2 threes in this game. Seth Curry actually had 2 as well. So yeah, best bets recommendation. Thank you to BetQL. Their model covers everything, like I said. And if you want to do your own research, they have all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, even a leaderboard for you to track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now and download the BetQL app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience? Across all social media and blogs, do what I do. Follow the sports on PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. How about WinView? Championship week in your fantasy football league. Things maybe not going well in the qualifying game. Not the qualifying game, the consolation game. Things not going well. Challenge a friend. It's a little WinView challenge. See if you can win some money. See if your friend who likes to talk the talk and walk the walk with WinView. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans. So download the WinView app right now and challenge a friend to a WinView contest and have some fun, win some money. Not a sports book, not daily fantasy, social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and win some real money prizes for making predictions on the games that you love so much. So take on WinView right now and have yourself a good time. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. Let's jump in with the chat check, ladies and gentlemen. See what the good people of Philadelphia have going on here. Appreciate everyone that participates in the chat as per usual. Buddy T, what's happening, Buddy T Mac? Doc scares me. Angry dad vibes. Ooh, that is scary. That is scary. Yeah. A buddy of mine had kids well before me, and I hear him in dad voice every once in a while yelling at he's got 2 boys. Dan, what's up, buddy? Like one time I started laughing. My wife and I started laughing, and he was just like, "You kid, do not laugh at dad voice." And I'm like, now I'm getting yelled at. But yeah, don't angry dad vibes. That's a scary thing. When your dad wasn't joking anymore. Don't they fly together? Lester, what? What are we talking about here? Actually, I want to know if they actually don't like each other. What, the Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts? I don't think it's a matter of liking each other. I think it's a matter of Gardner Minshew wants to be a starter. And I don't fault him. Somebody hit me up in the comments about that argument yesterday about, so you want Gardner Minshew to just accept being a backup and not want to be anything better? No, not at all. I'm just saying there's a time and a place as a teammate that you do that. When you get traded for and you sit in front of the head coach for the first time, you make it known. Hey, look, coach, I'll willing whatever I got to do to help the team. But I want to be a starter. So if that opportunity is there, I'm ready for it. Okay. You go and beat the Jets and you're going in front of the coach going, hey, I want to be a starter. What do I got to do? Not happening, bro. Bro. Like that's how that conversation probably went. But I think that's kind of a dick move if you're a teammate and you beat the Jets, and the next thing you're in the coach's seat. What do I got to do here? Be the starter. You do it when as soon as you get there, fine. Let it be known. You're a competitor, good for you. The timing is what rubs me the wrong way. Tobias Harris still stinks, though. Mac, thank you. Yes. No, you still need more from Tobias Harris. Look, when people would brag about Ben Simmons triple doubles, I never gave a damn. I don't care if he's got a triple double. One time I bet him to get a triple double and he got it. That's the only time I've cared. But he's a tall point guard that plays defense under the basket. He's going to get assists as a point guard. He's going to get rebounds as a big man underneath. And he's going to get points because he does drive to the basket. He needs 10. That's not exactly impressive. So I never really gave a damn about triple doubles. Tobias Harris got a triple double last night. I don't care. One thing I do like about it, though, is that his assist numbers were up there. His shot wasn't falling, so he did what I always ask players to do when their shots aren't falling, especially players like Tobias Harris. Now, a guy like J.J. Redick, obviously guys like Steph Curry, guys like Seth Curry, guys like that, Marco Bellinelli is another Sixer that comes to mind. Guys like that, they got to keep shooting because their mindset is the next one's going in. Those sharpshooters keep on shooting. But guys like Tobias Harris that aren't necessarily sharpshooters, if your shot's off, your shot's off. Like, that's off for the night. Unless you get a halftime break, unless you get a day off, like that shot's just not going to fix itself in that particular night. So that I never agree with the mindset of the next one's going in for like the middle of the road type of shooters. You know when your shot's off. Tobias Harris knew his shot 3 for 12 was off last night. His foul shot was great. It's how he got 13 of his 19 points, but he also had 12 assists. So instead of counting on himself, he was setting up other players. That's great heads up play by Tobias Harris. 10 rebounds, good. He was aggressive. He was going after the boards. That's fine. But Tobias Harris, the triple-double doesn't nearly impress me as much as just the assists and just the foul shots. And when he made the foul shots late in the game. That means a hell of a lot more than, he got double digits in 3 different statistical categories. Good for him. Nah. But yeah, he still need more from Tobias Harris. April, I did cough earlier. Now you guys got me paranoid. Now you guys have had me paranoid for a long time. Whenever I cough, I just feel like, and here come the weed jokes. And then for the people new to the show, it's just like, here's the joke. Come on in. I'll let you inside. Come behind the curtain. I don't smoke pot. The chat thinks I smoke pot. A lot of it. An excessive amount. Copious amounts. But I don't. So that's the joke. And when I cough, the jokes start flying. $100 pretends Marc doesn't know what indica is. I'm going to guess it's a strain of marijuana. Where's Mally? Where is Mally? Oh, he's probably out for vacation. Think anyone in his country hates Tobias as much as you do. Yeah, all right. So I don't think you're fooled. Laugh my ass off. Farzy does hate him. I don't want to hate him. I like Tobias a lot. I root for Tobias Harris because I like Tobias Harris. I would really like to get a lot more. But let me steal a line from Elaine Vigneault, one of my favorite ever. I love Tobias the person. I need more from the basketball player. Fars, pop a button, loosen up, make me feel welcome. Ben Timmons, you sly dog, you. Yeah, that's an indica cough. Thank you, Mac. $100 Farzy pretends he doesn't know what indica is. Okay. Loosen a button. Man, you guys, loosening buttons here. April, dark shirt, buttoned up. Marc is definitely not feeling himself today. Give the people what they came for. Fuji, totally different note. Rest in peace, John Madden. You guys are brutal, says Jack. What's up, Jack? Good point. Where the hell is Mally? Sealski get him? Farzy, tell us you're 46 without telling us you're 46. Well, I'm not 46, so why would I lie to you? When I was in college smoking pot, playing Sega Genesis. No, Mac, you know what? It's funny. I didn't bring this up during my Madden tribute because we're going to isolate that later, most likely on our YouTube page. But yeah, so my college roommates were huge stoners, truth be told. And we would often play, I mean, a lot of college guys do, play a lot of Madden. They would smoke up. And literally, for every single time, very gracious potheads, they would say, Farzy, you want to hit this? And I'd say, I'm good, thanks. And I'd pass it, here you go. I wouldn't do the puff. I just do the pass. And it was often, we played PlayStation at the time. But we'd play Madden. I would pass the ball to my buddy, and I'd continue to suck at Madden while my buddies beat my ass because they were stoned and they were much more creative with their play calling. Yeah, that's one of my also fond memories of playing Madden football was we played that a lot in college, and then we go out and we'd have ourselves a good time. The end. But no, Sega Genesis, we were a Sega family. I've told you this before. I was not a Nintendo family. Super Mario Brothers could kiss my ass. How about that? How about that for a piping hot take? We were a Sega household. And now I own a PlayStation. Anyway, Kevin, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you. Mac, hello again. Buddy T. When I was in oh, that's what you were saying. Buddy T Mac. Farzy, tell us you're 46 without telling us you're 46. When I'm in college smoking pot playing Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis was not out when I was in college. Sega Genesis was out when did I get Sega Genesis? Third grade? Fourth grade? I think I just aged myself even more. Why are we looking for Spanish interpreters? Mike Fuji, the old CBS chalkboard. Yeah, I don't even remember the CBS chalkboard. That's amazing. Julian, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Kevin, what's going on? Buenos dias. Are we saying good day? What is going on here? Ben Timmons, that's sick Farzy to get. Oh, yeah, beat his last game. I remember actually Chris Collinsworth's first game on the Sunday Night Crew. Madden took a day off in Tampa. I don't know why. I forget why he didn't play. I forget why he didn't do the game. But Chris Collinsworth filled in for the Jeff Garcia-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I just remember being like, Collinsworth is in? Oh, that's weird. And then I think did Madden do one more year? I can't remember if he did one more year or not. Because I think that was my first year traveling with the crew. And then I can't remember if Collinsworth I can't remember if Madden came back after that for the following year or not. But yeah, I just remember being bummed when it wasn't Madden and I wasn't a big Collinsworth fan. And plus it's like you're replacing a legend. So it's difficult for anybody. What the when Marc would accidentally hit the blunt, Miss Scoozy. Did I drop a Miss Scoozy earlier? I don't know. Unreal, pretty great impression too. Laugh out loud. Now I need Delco John Madden. Yeah, that's kind of where it went. Just be saying, here's a guy. Yeah, here's a guy. John Madden hated Steven Singer, but truly loathed Ben Simmons. Dan, hope you're feeling good. And yeah, that's probably true. What's Jason got here? Jason. Oh, Jason Avant. Love Jason Avant. He's awesome. How could you not, April? Love the ball. It is beautiful. Excuse me. Yes, Dan, you're correct. Never heard of it, PJ. Still, Jason is great. Jason is great. Give me more Avant. Ross, we all want more Avant. See, I try to limit, as much as I love the guys, I try to limit when I got the Inside the Birds guys on because they got their own thing going on. If I could promote them, great. But I know they got their own piping hot takes. They want to dish out on their own thing. So I try to limit, try to be cautious, try to be cognizant. Bald is beautiful. Definitely Farzy the field for the trampoline park. Oh, Luigi, I can only imagine what you're going to tell me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. No, Luigi, you took a different turn. Oh, Matt, don't tell me you got in a comment war. No, but I appreciate you, bud. You sound, Farzy, you sound like Squidward? I don't get the reference. April, Mark, I'm older than you. Watch it. N64 was one of the best systems ever. All right, here's what I got for you. GoldenEye probably had the longest run, and then we played Madden. Like, GoldenEye had a great run, and then it was Madden. But GoldenEye was great. And I don't think I played it for you guys before. But if you guys haven't seen that TikTok video yet of the guy walking in the room and he goes, "Hey, do you have that pause music ready for an N64 for Madden? Do you have that pause music ready for GoldenEye? Remember, don't spend a lot of time on it. It's just pause music." And the guy's like, "How about this?" And they start playing the music, and the guy's like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest song I've ever heard." And they start dancing crazy to it. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. James, Farzy isn't bilingual. Confirmed. Wait, Buenos Dias. Doesn't that literally translate to good day? You say it in the morning, but it's like saying good day. Buenos tardes is good afternoon. Buenos noches is good night. Buenos dias, I thought, good day to you. Good day to you. Oh, good day to you, sir. Donde está la baño? Por favor. How about that? That's 8 years of Spanish right there. Me gusta baseball. That's what I got for you. Just another random story popped in my head. I'll save that for another day about being on the Sunday Night Crew, but it doesn't have to do with John Madden, so it's not relevant. Buenos dias is good morning. Laugh out loud. Yes, Jeff Garcia married a Playboy model. You're absolutely right. Oh, Luigi says he didn't have an umbrella yesterday. I wonder why. Because it's my fault. That's what he's saying. Day is Dia. All right. Thank you for indulging me with my dumbassery, everybody. Thanks to everyone in the chat that participated in the chat check. You guys are fantastic as per usual. I will unbutton a button for this one right here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's rush into our morning rush. Sixers are back in action against the Nets at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Brooklyn. Hopefully the Sixers can make it 3 in a row. I didn't, by the way, our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. I didn't tell you guys this yet. I didn't really get too much into Christmas and how the holiday was. I told you my lobster ravioli was on point. I made it the fresher pasta and made the lobster ravioli. It was great. Anyway, I didn't get into gifts. My wife and I, we remodeled our third floor. I told you guys I was doing demo on our third floor. And when I did that, I discovered that our chimney needed to be like totally redone. Live in a 100-year-old row home in Philly. And our chimney was like ready to fall. I called our contractor friend, and he was this great Polish guy, Robert. And he comes over and he's like, "Oh yeah, your chimney's messed, man. Your chimney's messed." He only didn't say messed. And he goes, that needs to be taken care of. Everything else is easy, but that needs to be done. And I'm not a mason, and that's something you don't mess with. So it had to be completely redone. So he's redoing the whole thing. And it was at a point where he's like, look, this is a thing where like in a year, you're sitting in you're sleeping one night, and all of a sudden you have a chimney come through your ceiling. And it's like, yeah, I don't want that. So we redid the whole thing. So that's what we spent most of our Christmas money on. And well, she bought me a pillow, and I needed a pillow to help me with my pinched nerve in my neck. I bought my wife, not just some beautiful diamonds from Steven Singer, of course, but I bought my wife a cool cabana. Do you know what that is? My wife loves the beach. I hate the beach. I like my living room. And now the cool cabana is like having your living room on the beach. It's basically set up like a villa, and you just pop it up on the beach, and it has little pillars around it, and it feels like your own little room on the beach. It's fantastic. I bought her that, and then I told myself when I was very young I would never buy my wife an appliance. But my wife had been begging to get an air fryer, which is like the most random thing. All the stuff she gets on Amazon, just get an air fryer. But she hadn't gotten an air fryer yet. And we were just at a friend's house where they were using an air fryer, and she loved it. Oh, we got to get one of these. We got to get one of these. And I'm like, boom, air fryer. So I got an air fryer. And I thought she was going to cry when she opened up the air fryer. And then she just flat out bawled when she saw the cool cabana. She loved it. She was like, but you hate the beach and I love the beach. This is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. There you go, Toots. That's why Daddy's working. That's why Daddy's working. There you go. Anyway, speaking of gifts, do you like wine, folks? Because I like wine, but I am morally opposed to any type of mechanical wine opener. Like, for instance, I like a corkscrew. I like to act like a waiter and basically be like, so today's specials, we have the veal al sambuca. We hope you really like that. And if you like fish, we just got some fresh salmon. And if you like fish, you want to try that? You want to try? Good. Okay. If you like that, I like that. I like the whole process. I love that. I don't like anything that you just put the thing on, pop the cork, and you're good to go. No. I hate that. So my mother-in-law, lovely lady, I'm at my brother-in-law's on Christmas Day, and I'm opening up a bottle of wine, and I go, hey, Travis, my brother-in-law, I say, hey, you got a corkscrew? And he goes, yeah, it's in the drawer. And I open up the thing, and it's got that big, stupid machine, the thing that I hate. And my mother-in-law is like, use that, it's great. Use that, it's great. I'm like, no, I'm looking for a corkscrew. Push it aside, find the corkscrew. She's like, why don't you just use that? It's so great. And I go, Mary, you beautiful lady, you. I hate those things. You know that I hate those things. You know when you're at my house and you use whatever that rabbit thing is that I don't own, but my wife does, I object to it every single time. I hate it. I'm morally opposed to any type of mechanical corkscrew. I'll do it my own damn way. She goes, nah, okay. Later, I go home. The next morning, I wake up. And what's sitting on our kitchen table? But this wine opener. You see this? See what's happening here? And I say to my wife, babe, what the hell is this doing here? And she goes, oh, my mom got that for us for Christmas. I ripped the hell out of my mother-in-law's gift to us before I knew it was my mother-in-law's gift to us. You ever done that? Yeah, that happened. The whole time she's got to be thinking, I hope he doesn't open my present. I'm seeing support. People do not like the mechanical wine opener. Thank you. Glad we're on my side. She hasn't said anything to me yet. She'll be up here when the baby's born. Less than a month before kid number 2 arrives. Anyway, so that was my Christmas. Hope yours was great as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Rest in peace, John Madden. You'll be missed forever. Thanks to Jason Avant for coming on the show. That's appreciated as per usual. Tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit more into the Eagles and their playoff scenarios. By the way, also, Carson Wentz. I like the headline on ESPN. Unvaccinated Carson Wentz, COVID protocol. Now, I saw somebody do the math here. The Colts got 2 games left. The average NFL team plays 55 to 75 snaps per game. Anyway, about 300 snaps, according to this one person, is what Carson Wentz would have to miss to go below the 75% mark and the Eagles not get that first-round pick. That's next to impossible. Well, that is impossible. I'm saying it. It's impossible. Eagles will still get, no matter what happens with Carson Wentz for the rest of the season with 2 games left, the Eagles will still get the Colts first-round pick. So if you're at work, if you're on a Zoom call later today, and somebody says, oh, what about the first-round pick? Be like, you relax. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Much appreciated. Thanks, Jason Avant. Thanks to Jim Hyden, produced the program, did a fine job. My thanks to Buzz Sports and Entertainment, who puts on this fine show. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. And great job by our social media team yesterday, getting a lot of clips out there. Our rant on the Minshew story yesterday, Minshew versus Hurts, got like 3,500 views yesterday. So appreciate everyone that went and put in the work there. Ellis, Brendan, Billy, you guys are fantastic. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Be back with you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.